So here we are going to start our session now. Topic is a stroke recovery, as you can see, and we will have the more of insight about what neuroplasticity
Our session now.
and
Topic is a stroke recovery, as you can see, and we will have the more of insight about
what neuroplasticity and what are the technological resources available in field of neuro recovery, neuro rehabilitation, and what are the impact on uh, its impact on rehabilitation. So as we are all aware about there is some technical issues, just hold on. Yeah. So, as you are all aware that the stroke causes functional loss. And what is functional loss? What we understand about functional loss is what is function? जैसे चलते हैं हम बात लेते हैं, हमारी डेली एडियल एक्टिविटीज होती है, like dressing, eating, all these comes under the functional loss, right? So moving ahead, as we now aware that the stroke causes functional loss. And what is function? फंक्शनल लॉस से हमारा क्या यहाँ पे मतलब है? फंक्शनल लॉस से हमारा मतलब है कि एनी abnormality in a movement, and function is result of series and sequence of movements. Remember that function is result of series or sequence of movements. अब इस पिक्चर को अगर आप देखें, so you can see that very clearly in that a girl is coming and jumping a hurdle, right? So यहाँ पे एक मूवमेंट नहीं है, ऐसी बहुत सारी मूवमेंट्स जो हैं वो इन्वॉल्व हैं। वो चल के आ रही हैं, उनका पैर में, हिप में बहुत जगह मूवमेंट्स हो रही है। देयर आर लॉट ऑफ मूवमेंट इन्वॉल्व अराउंड whole body, and then there is a jump function is achieved. So remember that the function is not just something which is a one muscle work. It is entire body, entire section is involved, and there has to be very effective biomechanical sequencing. There has to be a very optimal soft tissue interaction in between, and there has to be very effective motor programming. Then only a normal movement execution takes place. So now question arises that once a stroke happened, we lost the function, we have a functional loss. How the brain is going to recover after injury? How brain recovery takes place? So let me explain that any recovery after brain injury occurs in two ways. One is neurological recovery and second is functional recovery. As you can see on the screen that there is a red picture where you can see that there is something written penumbra, and there is a dead tissue written. So as you can see, once the brain is affected, the actual size of infarct, the dead tissue, the damaged neurons are smaller than the area affected because of the causes of injury. Because of cause of injury, there are all around the tissue where the tissues are affected, there will be swelling, and that swell part, that edematous part, is called as penumbra. So what happens after injury? This penumbra, this edema start reducing with the effect of pharmacological or other agents what medically treated, and this is what the neurological recovery is. You must have seen that once the stroke patients recover very fast in a few days, and after that the functional recovery emerges and it takes time. So this is the example of neurological recovery. As you can see here that the penumbral size and this is getting reduced, and because of that reduction the neurological recovery takes place. And this process is leading to in a very early clinical improvement independent of any stimuli. If you don't do anything, only the pharmacological agents, then this recovery is going to take care because of reperfusion of that area and restoration of supply of blood or reduction of edema. But the second form, the functional recovery is defined as improvement in mobility and activity of daily life. And this is where यहाँ पे हमारा काम है. And this is influenced by rehabilitation. अगर उसकी neurological recovery हो भी गई है, and if the person is not able to perform his daily activity, it is useless. Okay. So how this functional recovery takes place? This functional recovery takes place as a result of CNS reorganization, which is influenced by CNS reorganization is influenced by rehabilitation. जो हम करते हैं, जो फिजियोथेरेपी, ऑक्यूपेशनल थेरेपी, अदर फॉर्म ऑफ थेरेपी जो करते हैं, उससे जो रिकवरी होती है, दैट फॉल्स अंडर फंक्शनल रिकवरी. And the key factor is neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity के बारे में हम लोग और ज़्यादा भी देखेंगे. It is long back the concept of neuroplasticity has been given, and later on Nudo has done a lot of work on what neuroplasticity is and how it is contributing to neurological recovery, right? फर्स्ट ये जो न्यूरोप्लास्टिसिटी था वो उसको यूज जो किया गया था वो हमने साइकेट्रिक के फील्ड में किया था, डिप्रेशन, एंजाइटी और इन चीज़ों को ट्रीट करने के लिए. बट लेटर ऑन we started in neurological rehabilitation. So now question is, what is neuroplasticity? What is brain reorganization? How neural network reorganize itself and how it takes place? So थोड़ा इसको और अच्छे से हम समझने की कोशिश करते हैं कि व्हाट इज न्यूरोप्लास्टिसिटी. सबसे पहले न्यूरोप्लास्टिसिटी के बारे में समझे. न्यूरोप्लास्टिसिटी इज अ पोटेंशियल ऑफ ब्रेन टू रिएक्ट एंड अडॉप्ट changes based on outside or inside inputs. इसे क्या समझ में आ रहा है? न्यूरोप्लास्टिसिटी हमारे ब्रेन की ऐसी एक पोटेंशियल है, एक क्षमता है उसकी, जो कि हमारे किए हुए काम को हम जिस तरह से प्रैक्टिस करते हैं, जिस तरह का सोचते हैं, जिस तरह का एक्टिविटी करते हैं, जिस तरह से मूव होते हैं, उसके बेस पे हमारे न्यूरल नेटवर्क को चेंज कर सकता है. That is outside inside inputs. Okay, so the cortical plasticity is capability of cerebral cortex. Cerebral cortex hardwired नहीं होता है. It is a flexible property of brain to change. अब यहाँ पे दो शब्द लिखे हैं, temporarily and permanently. So what is the temporarily and permanently means? So first what we do get change in a temporarily connection in brain. But once we keep practicing, keep doing such things, keep practicing, like for example, if I want to improve my handwriting, what I have to do? I have to do a lot of writing, practice. If I want to play piano, if I want to ride a bicycle, I have to keep practicing to get a neural network connected, which can take it over and which can make this as an automatic function, right? So it is because of strengthening of weak nerve connections which get strengthened with the experience of activity, and it is called as activity dependent plasticity. Clear? So now we know that there are a lot of neurons in our body, and these neurons has a cell body, dendrites, axons, axonal terminals and so on. और एक दूसरे से ये connected रहते हैं. There are connection, all these neurons get connected to each other. That is all, that all basic anatomy we have studied and we have understood, right? अब यहाँ देखने की बात यह है कि हाउ दीज न्यूरॉन्स आर getting connected. These neurons are getting connected with something called synapses, and how the information get exchanged between these synapses, these two cells, is there are some chemical uh, action potential in between these two synaptic connections. ये हमें बहुत अच्छे तरह से पता है कि एक प्री साइनेप्टिक कनेक्शन न्यूरॉन्स होते हैं, एक पोस्ट साइनेप्टिक कनेक्शन न्यूरॉन्स होते हैं, एंड दो न्यूरॉन्स आपस में जुड़ते हैं, एंड इन बिटवीन बोथ देयर आर सम केमिकल reactions, some electrical activity, and this is how one to another the connections impulses get passed. ये ऐसे ही है जैसे हम वो रेस होती है ना, एक डंडा लेके दौड़ते हैं और दूसरा फिर एक उस बंदे को स्टिक पकड़ाता है और वो रिले रेस जो होती है. सो इट इज समथिंग लाइक दैट, एक न्यूरॉन से दूसरे न्यूरॉन्स में, दूसरे न्यूरॉन से तीसरे में, एंड समथिंग लाइक दैट द इम्पल्सेस गेट पास्ड फर्दर. दिस इज व्हाट दिस पिक्चर यू कैन सी. तो यहाँ पे आपको दिखेगा इस पिक्चर्स में कि this picture you can see that how the connection is taking place between different neurons. तो मान लो एक neurons ये हैं और there are group of neurons and this is effector neuron. So this is how the neural network is in our brain. अब इससे और आगे बढ़ें, अगर इसको हम ही इसको 3D इमेज में अगर देखने की कोशिश करें, so the brain's neuronal activity looks like this. It is all connected to each other. If you take in a 3D image, you will find this. The brain का कोई ऐसा effective path भी नहीं होता. It is something like very very dense, and lot of neurons get connected to each other. There are cell bodies, there are different neural connections in between. So this is how the neural network is in our brain. Okay, so now so far you have to remember that the हम पहले बात करते थे कि brain tissue is damaged. It is damaged. It is not. The research have shown, evidence have shown that the brain neural tissue map is not hardwired. It is not hardwired. Neural network can be changed with the activity, and it can be modified with the specific type of activities. When we talk about neuroplasticity, plasticity means to form. कोई चीज बनाना. प्लासिको एक वर्ड है लैटिन में जिससे इसको डिराइव किया गया है. प्लास्टिसिटी मीन्स टू फॉर्म, एंड इट इज लाइफ टाइम प्रोसेस. हम बहुत सारी चीजें, नई चीजें जिंदगी में सीखते हैं. जनरल सी चीज है कि अगर आप आज पियानो बजाना नहीं जानते हो और आप पियानो बजाना स्टार्ट करोगे, सो यू विल फाइंड लॉट ऑफ प्रॉब्लम्स. बहुत कोऑर्डिनेटेड नहीं होगा वो. आपको कोऑर्डिनेशन करना पड़ेगा, आपको की को देख देख कर उसको दबाना पड़ेगा. बट व्हाट हैपेंस आफ्टर प्रैक्टिस? The brain will develop an certain neural connections which will take care its own, and soon you think कि मुझे सा के दबाना है, किसी की को दबाना है. Soon you visualize that and it will get motor action will be taking place, and you will press that key and playing piano. So something like that. Remember that the brain neural tissue is not hardwired. It can be changed with activities, specific activity. और अच्छे से इसको समझते हैं थोड़ा सा. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आप आप यहां देख रहे हैं कि आप अपने घर से डेली अपने ऑफिस को जाते हैं, अपने क्लिनिक को जाते हैं. वहाँ पे आप जहाँ आप काम करते हैं, किसी भी तरीके से आप जाते हैं, तो यू विल फाइंड दैट कि आप एक सर्टेन रूट लेकर जा रहे होते हैं, एक आपका सर्टेन रूट है, उसी रूट से आप जा रहे होते हैं। लेकिन what happens if you find that there are uh, traffic jam, use traffic jam every day, you find that. So what happens? You will start searching for something new way to reach your destination. इधर एक दो बार आपको प्रॉब्लम होगी, but you will try to find out the best way to reach, alternate way to reach to the destination. It may be shorter or it may be longer. And this is what exactly happening in your brain when your brain is getting reorganized because of certain specific task oriented activity. And this happened as a result of something called axonal sprouting. इसको axonal sprouting कहते हैं। साइनेप्टिक स्ट्रेंथनिंग, यानी कि जो हमारी साइनेप्सिस है, जैसे पहले मैंने बताया, उसमें स्ट्रेंथ होता, वो जो वीक कनेक्शंस हैं, बहुत सारे ऐसे वीक कनेक्शंस होते हैं जिनको स्ट्रेंथन होने लगता है वो, और जिसकी वजह से साइनेप्टिक स्ट्रेंथनिंग की वजह से ये न्यूरल पाथवे बनते हैं। बहुत सारे ऐसे वीक पाथवे होते हैं जो एक्टिवेटेड नहीं है, आलसी हैं, वीक हैं, वो एक्टिवेटेड होते हैं, और इसकी वजह से ये नया न्यूरल मैप क्रिएट होता है। So hope you understood so far. अब आप देखें कि थोड़ा और डिटेल में जाएं कि हाउ द न्यूरल कनेक्शंस is getting how neuronal map is reorganizing. So we know that it is the form of neuroplasticity. ये साइनेप्टिक हो सकता है, स्ट्रक्चरल हो सकता है। स्ट्रक्चरल उस चीज को कहते हैं कि जब टोटली उस चीज को एक स्ट्रक्चरल चेंज हमारी ब्रेन में आ जाए। न्यूरोप्लास्टिसिटी हमेशा याद रखें, पॉजिटिव हो सकता है या निगेटिव हो सकता है। न्यूरोप्लास्टिसिटी कैन बी, इट मे बी पॉजिटिव और निगेटिव, अच्छी तरीके से भी डेवलप कर सकते हैं और बुरे तरीके से भी। यानी इसका बेस्ट एग्जांपल ये है कि अक्सर देखा गया होगा कि जब आप किसी आदमी को स्ट्रोक होता है या कुछ इस तरह की चीजें होती हैं तो वो चलना फिरना सीखना शुरू करता है, एंड वो चलना शुरू भी कर देता है या हाथ से काम भी करना शुरू कर देता है, बट इट इज नॉट इन अ नॉर्मल वे। तो एक्चुअली ये फंक्शन वापस आया कैसे, हाउ दिस द फंक्शन इज बीइंग रिस्टोर्ड, बट इट इज इन a not towards normal way. So if it is not in a normal way, that means there are certain new connections have been developed. Definitely it has been reconnected, reorganized, then only that function is emerged. But हमारा काम यहीं पे है कि इस न्यूरल नेटवर्क को कितना अच्छे से उसको रीऑर्गेनाइज करें और कितने अच्छे से उसको मॉडिफाई करें कि it becomes so normal. So there are two things, something called potentiation and depression. पोटेंशिएशन से वर्ड से ही पता चलता है कि कोई चीज एक्साइट होना, बनना, नया, आगे बढ़ना, एंड डिप्रेशन का मतलब ही नीचे आना। सो न्यूरोप्लास्टिसिटी हैज प्रोसेस में दो चीजें बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, एक है पोटेंशिएशन और दूसरा है डिफरेंशिएशन। सो पोटेंशिएशन क्या है, ये आप देखें, एक साइनेप्स है यहाँ पे और एक दूसरा साइनेप्स है। जैसा हमने पहले सुना था कि साइनेप्स पे होता क्या है, एक दूसरे से कनेक्शन होता है, राइट। जब एक दूसरे से कनेक्शन होता है तो इनके बीच में बहुत सारे केमिकल रिएक्शंस होते हैं। अब फॉर एग्जांपल हम ये माने कि यहाँ पे बहुत सारे इलेक्ट्रिकल पोटेंशियल इस न्यूरॉन्स में हो रहे हैं, बहुत सारे वेरी वेरी एक्टिव एक्शन पोटेंशियल इज डेवलपिंग। सो जाहिर सी बात है यहाँ पे बहुत सारे न्यूरल कनेक्शंस और ये एक्सचेंज होगा एंड द रेस्पॉन्स विल बी इंक्रीज्ड। तो इस ये जो पोस्ट साइनेप्टिक न्यूरॉन्स है ये ज्यादा स्टिमुलेट हो रहा है, बहुत तेजी से स्टिमुलेट हो रहा है, उसके ऊपर बम्बार्डिंग हो रही है। नो यू हैव टू डू, ये ऐसा ही है कुछ जैसे एक सोए हुए इंसान को झकझोर के हम जगा रहे हैं। सो इट इज समथिंग लाइक दैट कि किसी इफ समबडी इज नॉट willing to do something but we are still pushing that, do it, do it, do it, you have to, something like that. So he will ultimately wake up. So same way, this is what called synaptic strengthening. So lot of activity here, it becomes weak synapse, but ultimately it become strengthened. अब इसी चीज को हम एक्टिविटी से इसको स्टिमुलेट करें, कॉर्टेक्स को स्टिमुलेट करें, तो ये स्ट्रक्चरल चेंजेस में आ जाएगा. And what will happen? There will lot of new connections, dendrite, axons will get developed to make this synapse strengthen. And this is how the potentiation works. And this is what called as synaptic sprouting. The same way, what depression says, if we don't bombard the synapse, if we don't load it, it is like something like uh, आपकी biceps की strengthening करनी है. If you want to develop your biceps hard and strengthful, what you have to do, you have to give load. You have to give load. So this is how the same thing we have to do it for brain. So brain cannot be open and give a dumbbell and then do the exercises to give load. So how we can give load to these brain neurons is in a form of activity. Certain activities we have to design that gives load on this, increase the firing of these neurons. So when the firing increases there, axon potential increases, then one certain in neurons, that there'll be search for connections to pass on the connection, and this is how the synaptic strengthening takes place. But in depression, what happens, there are a lot of activity at certain neurons, there are less firing at that neuron, so there will be less synaptic activity here, and as a result there will be low response to other synapse, and that synapse will get inhibited, and the result will be even the existing synaptic connections, the axons, will get degraded, depressed, and they will become low functional, less functional, and this is how the depression is. So remember that there are two things, potentiation and depression, two things. Potentiation is what we need to emphasize in our rehabilitation therapy. Wherever we rehabilitate an stroke patient, brain stroke, anything, we have to have certain activity dependent, we have to induce activity dependent plasticity. There are a lot of other plasticity also which causes structural changes at the molecular level, but as far as we are concerned as a rehabilitation professional, physiotherapist, neurophysiotherapist, we have to work on activity, enhancing activity dependent potentiation, and that's give the neuroplastic changes in brain. So once this less things happen, it is called synaptic pruning. So there are two words you have to remember, that once there is a potentiation takes place, there will be synaptic sprouting. That means do more work, the structural changes will be more positively. When less activity, there will be pruning, or existing neurons will get degraded, less active, and thus the poor outcome. Okay, so just look at this, how this video very graphic way it explains how the pruning or synaptic strengthening takes place, and how once the connections are getting strengthened, once the neuron, and as you can see graphically here, this is how actually the neural activity or neural impulses are taking place. So when there are more activities coming on, that the synapses get more and more strengthened, and this is what the potentiation is. So when the root where there is a no activity, no loading on that connects get lost, weak, and when there is a more and more activity, that connection will get more and more active. So this is what the neuroplasticity is. So this is what we have to take care in and emphasize in our rehabilitation. So what are the resources available in our field when we talk about neuroplasticity and these things? So there are a lot of techniques like PNF. Yesterday, Dr. Rohit also explained about PNF very well. So there are PNF, there are POBAT, NDT. POBAT is something like a problem-solving approach to assessment and treatment of individuals, and this is also one of the very effective tool to train uh, brain. The constant induced movement theory, and again an example of a task specific which stimulate brain, which gives more and more good stimulation to your brain tissue, and this can be used. So and then mirror therapy, then mental imagery. Mirror therapy is something like creating illusion in your brain, and you can read about more, or later we can have discussion on that. Mental imagery again in a form of the more specifically what I want to talk about here is task specific training. What is task specific training? All the motor task specific and activity dependent tools whatever available in field of stroke rehabilitation, the principle and practice are different, how they are differently used, but ultimate goal remains same. Ultimate goal remains same. So what is task specific training? Task specific training can be defined as a systematic and repetitive practice of functional task that can be performed within the limit of that particular stroke survivor. That is, stroke survivor has certain potentiation, and that potential what we are going to emphasize. When we talk about task specific training can be given with a technology or without technology. Like as I said, like boba training or activity motor relearning program, all these forms are form of task oriented training, and this is what the most papers suggest, that the task oriented movement training is the best form to restore functional um, function after stroke. So there are some system here, uh, technology assisted, because in online classes we cannot have a much of demonstration. So I have gathered some videos that will have an insight that what the task specific training is. So task specific training can be given with, remember that it can be given with technology assisted or without technology. Both can be given. It can be given both way. Active balance control training, like motor sensor based training, like you can hear, you can see that there may be some virtual training, and here you can see that this is how so this is how active balance training with motor sensor task oriented training with technology. What you can see here is it is device on force plate where we can have a certain balance training, and with a motor sensor, that which area of the person is putting more weight, so one side is affected, we can train active weight transfer, and the patient will have a specific feedback that where he is doing. So this is a form of something like very accurate active biofeedback, where the person can have a very effective thing. Next, what we can have is visual feedback assisted upper extremity training, like task specific training. Okay, so here you can just have, you can see that in upper extremity you can have certain like visual assistance, and this is how we are going to stress the brain that you have to do it this way, you have to do it in this way. like ब्रेन को डंबल देके एक्सरसाइज नहीं करा सकते, उसकी न्यूरॉन्स को हम एक्टिव ऐसे नहीं बना सकते. We have to have certain activity which force the neurons to do activity, and when we force that, there will be a lot of electrical activity within the brain, and this is how this neural new neural connections are going to established. So another form like this is earlier one was it is the form of unilateral training, where you can look at the bilateral training, and this is also the game based therapy, where the person will have an orientation where he can perform such activity and stimulate the brain, right? And this is another form like how there are different version of gait training available. This is the manual one where we given a repeating task. One of most important thing here I would like to say that what is the difference here is that in a robotic training, in a manual training, how many repetitions we can give. In a robotic gait trainer, the most advantage is that the number of repetitions, because number of repetitions is very important to have a neuroplastic changes in brain, because the number more we practice, more the neural strengthening takes place. So here we cannot have a such number like thousands of steps and many times, where the robotic devices can give such training, right? So that is another one example and importance of robotic training in rehabilitation. Now again you can see the biofeedback. It is a really, again, it is a very effective tool to train in a selective movement. Like for example here what we have put, and one electrode on the trapezius and one on the posterior and rhomboid or something like that. So you can train people to have a certain activity in two electrodes. Like in electrodes you can see that we are training one muscle group is getting more excited, and one is so what we have, we can ask the patient to elevate this, we can give target, and this is a very effective tool. बहुत अच्छी से इसको हम ब्रेन को एक्टिवेट कर सकते हैं उस पर्टिकुलर टास्क के लिए, and we can have a very good guidance that you have to stimulate this, we should not do this, because without visual or auditory feedback we cannot tell people that you are doing certain wrong activity. Now this is in a form of a dynamic voluntary control training with sensor, motion sensor, where there is a motion sensor in lower limb or upper limb, wherever it can be, anywhere it can be used. And what task we have given here is to be on this trampoline. So it is a very dynamic task. As I in earlier in the beginning of class I just mentioned that the task, specific task and accuracy, and like for example here we have to have certain tasks, we have to stimulate the cortex, then only the neural connection will get developed. So here technology can be used, and the person will be, the neurons will get stressed to perform such activity. So this is how one of another example of giving a technology assisted task training. Then as I said, the robotics, there are a lot of robotic movement trainer available, where there are two forms. One is a complete passive robots which gives you a movement, and another's are with the very good robotic devices, which it is something like you must have heard about the ventilators and all that. So same way, if you initiate movement, it will give assistance, and the more you perform actively, less it will give assistance. So this is how from basics to advanced training can be performed with robotic trainer. It can be used for upper limb, and as I was saying, the gait training. This is also the very effective tool here. Electromechanical gait trainer with the robotic assisted in devices placed in leg. So the most important thing here is that we can increase the repetitions. We can have a number of repetition. This is that number of repetition, it really matter to change the neuronal network in your brain. So it is very effective to have an training. And then again, the task training can be performed with virtual reality environment. There are a lot of virtual reality tools available nowadays, and of course they are very expensive, but soon I think the people will develop in India, and will have some tools here and make in India also. Then these things are very very important, because here the person get involved in that. And when you are actively, your brain is getting engaged in certain activity, the stimulation to the connections and neuronal connections are more, the chances is more, rather passive. So passively you cannot stimulate your neurons, but here once the person is actively involved in that, actively engage their brain tissue, then definitely the outcome will be more. The same way, the functional electrical stimulation. Initially, the functional electrical stimulation was used for foot drop or some kind of something like a electroprosthetic device, but now we use it as a tool to train the brain. Like for example, there are a lot of electrical FES devices available which give selective stimulation. So soon you uh, stimulate your muscle and you initiate the movement, it gives assistance. It is something like a robotic one, and it gives you, keeps giving you the functional. And subsequently बहुत दिनों तक करने के बाद धीरे 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 your brain get activated for such activity and your muscle get strengthened. At that level the plastic changes occur, and then gradually we can wean off these. तो उसके बाद इसको हम हटा भी सकते हैं. So this is what the very important, again very important tool to use for rehabilitation. Again, there are something dynamic voluntary control motion sensor, where we can make people stand on legs and have certain training, like force plate. Earlier also I explained that how we can train without the motor sensor. Why we are talking about these technology, and the as I said earlier also, that task oriented training can be performed with the technology and without technology. It does not matter, because we have a lot of certain tools like other technology, hands-on approaches. We have to use those also. But what with the technology giving task oriented training, what is the important here is, what is the good part here is, it having a very very accuracy. Like we cannot have such accuracy with hands-on. We have to have manipulative. We can monitor the progress very accurately. There is a most of these devices have a data management system. They can have a graphical representation. We can have progress monitoring very well. Repetition, I'm talking repetitions is very very important, and having good of your neuroplasticity to occur. So repetition, these devices can give really repetition, and that does matter. It gives real-time feedback. That is also very very good thing, that once the brain is engaged, your neuronal connections are, an outcome is really better compliance to therapy. ये बहुत interactive भी होता है. So patient get involved in that, so that is better compliance. But it motivates patient motivated होता है. The only disadvantage I see that is these devices are quite expensive, and we have to look for certain things which we can develop in India, and a lot of technology is getting developed with the IIT and other therapists also. They are working, biomedical engineers are working that they will develop soon. We'll look at that. So this is the end of this presentation, and thank you so much for your patient listening. I'll be back on screen again with live, and you can further put your questions on the screen so that I can answer.